Hello, good evening. Everyone. Today with us on the topic of internal audit, on which we require the more knowledge, more expertization. For that, we have Chetan Thakkar sir, and I welcome on behalf of ICR Chetan Thakkar sir to give you valuable time and share your valuable experience with all of us. So we all benefited by your session. I welcome to Aarti ma'am, Arun Agarwal sir, Ritika ma'am, and all the members of the session. I know we have the so much questions about the internal audit because the scope is a very vast and very lengthy. We require the so much knowledge for that. So we are here to solve all the questions with answer by the Chetan sir.
Sure.
And this is my good opportunity that I will share the good profile of the good man by me. Chetan sir is a fellow member of the ICI and the strategic leadership program from Gujarat. His EMBA from USA, his certified risk management from ICI, and top in the exam. That's salute to you, sir. Certified internal auditor from IIA, Florida, USA, and visa qualified also in September 2005. If I talk about the professional background of the sir have the professional background over last 28 years and he's audited various large size company like Grasim, Aditya Birla, ONCG, ACC, Crompton, Air India, New India Assurance, IDBI, BP, POI. There are so many lists. So this is only the example from my side. And presently, sir, working with JSW Steel Limited as an associate vice president, group audit and risk management for steel ports, cement, energy, and mining vertical. His last stint was with the Prism Cement Limited as a head management assurance and with Ambuja Cement Limited as a head corporate audit. Past board of governor and vice president at IIA India, Bombay chapter, chair of membership, ROC and Student Development Committee, regular speaker and ICI, WRC, BIS, school, Big Fours, and other so many circle also. He is expert in the area of internal audit. For that, we join today to take the benefit from him. So with this, I request to Chetan sir, please start your session and give your valuable time and valuable experience to us.
Thank you so much, Daya, for introduction, and warm welcome to all my participants out here. And my gratitude to Nanda ji, Prakash ji, Preeti ji, Aarti ji, Arun ji, and Daya, Ritika, and all the team at International Standard Board. And thank you for this opportunity. So before I start, whatever views I will be sharing out of my 28-year experience, these are my personal views. Although I may be working for Jindal, I may be taking through a lot of practical examples. But these are all out of my practical experiences. So these are my personal views. Just allow me a 10 seconds time. I will upload the presentation. Yeah. Is the presentation is visible to you all, please? Aarti, can you confirm me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I'm
Yes,
audible
sir.
properly, right? I'm audible
Yeah.
as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just allow me a minute's time. Yeah, friends. So, well, today's agenda, I will make sure that another next 90 minutes, I will make sure that all of you would become a subject matter expert in report writing. I will make all my endeavor, and we see that each one of you will able to make your audit report more effective and impactful. So, friends, our discussion for today will talk about the overviews of the standard 360 and 370 by our own institute. We'll talk about who all are our stakeholders. We talk about what should be the typical elements of audit report, what are things that constitute the audit report, different forms of communication to the various stakeholders we'll talk about, the different formats for executive summary and internal audit report we will discuss about, a kind of risk categories we'll talk about, a kind of risk mitigation strategy we'll talk in a greater details in the slides to follow. And the most important slides about report writing is about 5 C's of internal audit report writing. And I will take you through some case studies as well. So you know those subjects in the greater details. we talk about the what are the common mistakes we make as an auditor in the report writing. We'll importantly see the what are the global best practice of individual ratings of audit observation and rating of the overall report rating. I will take you through the important criteria, how to arrive at those ratings. We'll talk about the audit committee, which is our final, the important stakeholder for us. Audit committee presentation consideration and the formats will be discussed. And finally, we will talk about what are the challenges, how to overcome, and what are the takeaways. So this is we are going to take through. I may not get to all the slides in a greater detail. Wherever there is important things, we'll take a pause and we'll discuss in a greater details. Questions can be parked during the session in question answer session. I will take all the question at the end of the session around quarter to 7. So be ready with your question. What all questions comes to your mind during my presentation, out of presentation, which is something we may not be even in presentation. Your practical challenges what you face during your audit. Please park those questions in question answer. We'll take through at the end of the session. So friends, what is report writing? Is it skill or art? What do you think? Report writing require and you need to be an artist or the skill that can be developed? So yeah, friends, just answering your question. So report writing is more of a skill and not an art. You need not to be an artist. You need to develop those skills, and that is for what we are all here. And I'll make sure that I will give you a lot of practical tips apart from the gyan on this report writing, which is easily available on Google. You all are expert on Google, so I will share with you as much practical tips, guidance, case studies, example, so the subject become more clearer to you all of you. So it is more of skill and not really. You need not to be an artist, and those can be acquired with your passion. So friends, before we start, let's understand why do you need to write an reports? Why at the first place, why do you need an reports to be written? Only two reasons to write a report, right? First is important to spur its recipient into action. Like most of time, management, employees keep talking about the gap, system control gaps. Management don't take it really serious, but once it comes in our internal report, the actual action starts. Say something, examples like input tax credit not availed in GST. When we point out, we reconcile, we go back to management and say, boss, this is not been done. The implications are going to corrode. This is for one location. This is for multiple location. This is company as a whole at the enterprise level. So the moment when we report it, which has a value impact or a non-compliance impact, what we highlight to the management, the recipient of the reports, your auditee, your HOD, will discuss in a greater details who are all our stakeholders. So the action will start getting into action. So observation will get flavor into action. The second important thing, to make them think something in a different way. Say internal audit is whatever the function, maybe procurement, marketing, quality function, production function, people are doing their job day in, day out. So internal audit is like a third set of eye which look things independently and they give inputs based on their so many years of experience with a lot of benchmark practice they see during their set of career. So they the day-to-day auditing may not observe some better way of doing it. So they come with the benchmark practice, best practice, and that is being filtered into the report. And ultimately, that's how we get those best practices for the company we do audit for. So these are the two most important things. Get rolling the ball. So our auditing get into action and we literally help them to think as an independent consultant, as an advisor, to see that they see the things differently so that they will able to make a more value addition to their day-to-day business activities. So next question, friends. So what is important for communicating audit results? You want your audit reports to be effective. These are the two minimum things which required. First of all, you need a knowledge of subject. The knowledge of business is the most essential thing. Without you being understand the business knowledge, say if I am in the steel or if I am into cement industry, I am into mining industry. Although most of the or maybe in service IT industry, BPO, KPO, unless you understand business, you will not able to deliver the value addition to the management. So without understanding business and then doing a low hanging, some observation, some transaction audit, I think that is then you will not be appreciated and you will not deserve that sit in the management meeting. If you want that a special space in your management top people meeting, what we normally call ESCO meeting, you have to have essentially understand business understanding. Without that, any audit, any function will not really be do justice. So my request, please spend a reasonable time before you get into the floor on the or field work on the floor on the manufacturing location or the marketing location. Please make sure you please understand the client business activity essentially. This is minimum mandate, and to be an effective internal auditor, we should know what is the line of business activity and understand that operation very clearly before you get and start into the auditing. Second is knowledge of audience. You should know that we will talk in the greater details in the following slides. Who are my audiences? Who are my stakeholders? There may be the, as I said, there may be purchase manager, or there may be quality manager, production manager, HR manager, the HODs, CFO, chief marketing officer, chief manufacturing office, chief service deliverer, CHRO. Then my next set of statutory auditors, top management, and even some cases it may be a regulator. So you cannot discuss same thing, say at the junior management, mid management, you have to discuss the things. You have enough time with them and with us, we can discuss in a greater details. You go to the board, which is our prime stakeholder, is audit committee of board, is our major customer stakeholder for us, where you get hardly 15-20 minutes or max half an hour. So you should have that knowledge. How is our audit? Who is our auditee and auditee audiences? Accordingly, you have to frame your set of presentation based on different stakeholders. So friends, before you take it forward, please understand, please, please make sure that before you start an audit, before you go to the location, may it be a manufacturing, may it be a service location, may it be IT location, please make sure that you understand and gain the knowledge of business. And please understand who all are your audiences, who all are key stakeholders whom are going to audit, how long he is into system, how long he has that knowledge, how long he is into the company, a kind of organizational structure, qualification of those people, their experiences needs to be understood in a greater detail. That then only you will able to shape up your report. So friends, internal audit report is like an visiting card for us. It's not essentially the report what I discuss with my top management. Every time say it goes to say regulator, it go to statutory auditor. So I am not there as an auditor always there to showcase my report. Your report physically goes. You are not there to explain your points. So report should be very clear, concise, and should be understood. It is only and only after having this knowledge of business and knowledge of audiences to basic minimum things. So friends, we'll talk quickly about Standard 360 by our own institute. We talk about the communication with the management. So normally the life cycle of internal audit report is divided into 4 parts. Initially, we come out with some fieldwork, we complete, we prepare a pointer that we discuss with the process owners, right? Process owner, accounts manager, your, your stock manager, inventory manager, your production manager. So we discuss those exceptions. Normally, internal audit works on exception reporting, right? So first set of discussion draft is always happen with the process owner. Second, once that pointers are being validated, it will go to the exit meeting, and we call for the senior people team, their HODs, and then we discuss this is the observation, these are the risks, these are the root causes, these are the business risks. We'll discuss in a greater details what kind of risk business is dealing into, what are the those categories. Thereafter, after we get that validation in the exit meeting, closer meeting, we get into preparation of the formal draft report. And the draft report is basically happen, we call a closer report, exit meeting. After that validation, modification, inputs, see, essentially we have to get all your audit observations get validated in the exit meeting. There may be a scenario, everything, whatever you say may not be, you may say the ABC is the right way of, setting up the controls. But audit may say XYZ is the, again, other set of control whereby they can address those audit issues. So that's fine. But it may happen practically most of the time. You may find some of the important observation, maybe gray area or some major non-compliance, or there may be major value addition you may suggest, which audit may not agree, their HODs may not agree. So sometime you have to be boldly as an internal auditor, you should agree to disagree. Certain things, even your mid management or top management may not listen to those observations, but you feel those are very critical to the business, which really has some major value addition, which may have important non-compliance, maybe imprisonment, major penalties, or may harness the brand or image of the company. So you not every time whatever you say it is agreed by your stakeholders, agreed by your auditees. You have to go sometime walk an extra mile, and you make sure that sometimes those observations which they you agree and you find convincing as a critical important audit observation, a high rated observation, but auditee don't believe, please take it to the next level. You may take it to CEO, you may take it to MD, and you may even take it, those are very severe observation, you take it to audit committee. So please, my humble request to one and all, please be bold enough to say, I am agree to disagree what you say, but I feel this is a very relevant and critical, serious observation for company as a whole. And the final stage is final report that has been sent to the various stakeholder, the respective process owner, the HOD, top management. Some cases it goes to the MD, even to the audit committee chair and audit committee members as well. I've seen those reporting. Distribution list is very large. So friends, this is what defined in Standards on Internal Audit 360, which talks about what kind of communication happened between our stakeholders and we as the internal auditors. Then 370 talk about basically reporting results. What is objective? So objective is very clear. See, we have a two set of roles, friends. Internal auditor has the two role in the company. One we call is the assurance role, and second is an advisory and consulting role. Assurance role is basically doing audit, advisory role, and consulting role where which is outside our assurance role of internal audit, core internal audit, which is our prime role, and secondary consulting role. There may be some request, companies getting into some merger acquisition. They want you to review certain inventory item, receivables, some items. The company is going say SAP implementation. They ask you as a subject matter experts. Company designing some management information system. They add your value, wanted you to review. So these are consulting, and this is basically more of a value addition proposition which happens in the consulting activity. And assurance activity, what we as internal auditor do it, basically it is all about, we give assurance on the process control, a kind of risk business is looking into in past, present, and future. So these are the two important audit objective which is defined in 370. Our core to role, I'm repeating, we have a two core role to play: assurance and audit. Assurance and audit is our primary responsibility while we carry out the internal audit. And second most important is advisory and consulting roles. So these are the two roles. And please mind you, keep it, any activity we do in internal audit is divided into one of these two categories: primary and secondary. We discuss in a greater length. So friends, before we get into the other dynamics of report writing, please understand what are the basic thumb rules. Whatever you write in your report has to be accurate. It cannot be by hearsay. Please don't write anything in your report on somebody hearsay. अरे boss, उसमें थोड़ा problem है, inventory undervaluation है, there is theft has happened, this production system machines are not working for last 6 months. Don't go by hearsay. Please do your own validation. So whatever you write, it has to be properly have an evidence. It should be accurate. It should not be on hearsay. This is the first thumb rule. So whatever you write, it should be accurate one. Although we don't give absolute assurance, we give objective assurance has to be done. Second important. So be fair. Don't get influenced by somebody who says to you, be fair, partial, unbiased. Third is very important, again, clear. Your observation should be very clear. It should be easily understood, logical, and no unnecessary. Please don't use any technical jargon in the report. Although you know, or maybe your process owner knows, but report is not restricted to only a process owners. It will go to a different set of people: CEO, CFO, MD. It will go to audit committee, your business partner, P investor, banker. You never know, it may go to regulators. Please don't use technical jargon unless it is required. And if it is required, please make it in a simplified language. So that is minimum thing. Don't use technical jargon unless it is essentially required for observation to demonstrate value. Please be concise to the point. Don't elaborate so much. To my experience, one observation should not be exceed more than one PPT or less than half a page of your A4 size paper if you're doing in the Word reports. So make it your report pointer very clear and concise. Be constructive. It should be so. See, I am very clear when I report written by my team. I ask them to at least test on two parameters. Whether whatever observation, I don't want you go and say if I am doing an HR audit, I'll give an example. There are various processes, budget, MIS, recruitment. Is it happen the recruitment agency, background check, reference check, payroll, leave management, training, full and final. There may be a lot of processes, but you all know internal auditor is always firefighting on the resources basis and time basis. So I don't you don't have to get into all 10, 15 sub processes. The given example in HR, you should have that ability and knowledge based on your risk based audit plan where to spend more time, where to get into the greater details. Because if I have to do HR all 15, 20 process, if HR audit itself, I will take a 1 month. Getting data, validating, checking, confirmation will take hell of the time. So what I suggest, you should identify out of this, you don't have to get into so much into training, right? You don't have to get so get into important gray areas like background check, whether background check, all important things, certification are really true. Is the process in place? Are we getting a reports in time? Anybody forged the document? Anybody has a criminal records? So like this is payroll, whether payroll is happening system outside system, how there is an interfacing between your leave management and with the payroll, how the regularization happen, whether payroll data is there any ghost employees. So you should know there may be 50 line items to be checked, say in HR audit, but you should have that maturity to see what are the gray area pointers you have to see in a greater details, and others can be seen as a cursory review. If your time permits, you may do it, but most of the time, my experience of all this is really we have a lot of pressure when are you on the field, lot of things to be done, lot of locations to be done, a lot of other challenges. We as an intern auditor, we are not easily welcome unless we really demonstrate value. So friends, be constructive. Let's not have a 50, 60 pages report on HR. It may be around 5, 6 pages. That is okay, but our every observation should add a great value to your management. Is there any lapses in the leave management? Is there any lapses on the background check? Is there any lapses in full and final settlement? Is it statutory compliance are not happening in time? Is it undercover, overcovered? TDS is not being properly covered, proper deduction not been allowed. So let's have only make issues, only draw your observation only if it has in business, add value to your business which you are auditing, and secondly if any major non-compliance which may disturb the company working. There may be a lot of non-compliance for delays by paying few penalties of thousands and lakhs. That is fine, you may report it. But the any non-compliance which has got imprisonment, means factory inspector is in problem, your director is in problem, those issues needs to be highlighted importantly. And anything which there is gaps, value addition if required, any process major gaps has to be taken care, and those we have to do a deep dive. You have to make sometime your hand dirty to get, and you have to walk some extra miles to see that you get those points in a greater details where you find some pain areas. Next one is complete. Make sure that whatever you don't give incomplete audit observation. Make the entire cycle properly, although it is concise and clear, but make sure that it is complete. Next important is timely. See, you have a very good observation. Sometimes we even we don't wait. Sometimes you start an audit and it get over after a month. By the time meanwhile, if you find some sensitive issue, a major gap, or you find some forensic angle to it, some major non-compliance angle, or you're finding there is some cost overrun, some cost saving area, you're seeing it. So please don't wait for 1 or 2 months to write and report and then go to management. By the time, somebody will play with that, and those things can be taken in the wrong sense. So what I suggest, you start, even issue those flash report. You may land a flash report for 1 or 2 pointer which you find critical during your audit. Don't wait for your complete audit, exit meeting, opening meeting, closing meeting, final report. Please issue the important audit observation you find very critical. I will take you through in my slide ahead what when you say the observations are very high or critical. So if you find that sort of a major leakages or some wrongdoing is happening, some pilferage is happening, some theft is happening, some major value addition gap you are seeing, please issue flash report. Don't wait your entire audit fieldwork to complete and prepare draft and final report. Please don't wait for that. I'm sure out of my experience with all this has helped great way to the management, and internal auditors are highly appreciated for this gesture and the act on their so much on that part to issue the flash report. So friends, these are the basic things. Be clear, concise, and don't write. One more important basic thing I have observed, even many senior auditors having 10 15 years experience in the audit, they make a very silly mistake. They say, we found few issues, we found few instances. What do you mean by few instances? For somebody, few may be 5, somebody may be 50, somebody may be 500. Please don't do that. I know we do a sample checking, we do give 100% assurance. We don't certify, we only give objective assurance. So please say out of 500, in 50 cases I found in, which is 10% of my sample size, and this is the value involved, and this is the vendor involved, or this is the customer involved. Please be specific. Never say some cases, few cases I observe. Because the definition is differ to person to you are making your audit report reader completely, you are making him confused. Please don't write few observation, few instance, some instance, many cases. What do you mean by many cases? What do you mean by few cases? So be specific in your report, and then you will able to know the even materiality, right? So please make sure that be very concise and specific. Don't give generic. If you give few cases, I found this. Audit will also we have rectified those few cases, and that audit observation will never get closed. And I'm not only 100% sure, and I'm 1000% sure those audit observation will again get opened up. So friends, if you are using till date in your report few observations, some observation, many things we found, don't use such. Please be very specific henceforth, and then you will able to understand the materiality and severity of that audit observation. That will help you on that front very clearly. So friends, let me make you one clear statement. As you know, even I am a qualified certified internal audit from US and from ICA as a CA. Let me tell you with my practice experience, there is no standard reporting format. I will come to those formats also for your quick review. But what happened right now, International Standard Institute of Internal Audit US and our institute, there is no reporting format. Some people use PPT, some people use Word, some people use Excel. Even some people don't write cost, some people don't write limitation in the audit, some people don't write executive summary. So everybody prepare their auditing format in their own way. So right now there is, please be understand as of today, there is no mandatory or a single set of standard reporting format which is used globally. Every company, every firm uses their own format in consultation with the top management, in consultation with the audit committee. So you have to understand that fact very clearly. So friends, if your audit report is not really up to mark, a kind of comments what I observe in my career, just let's I read out for you some feedback from auditee. The report tell us what we already know. So friends, don't write something. We are not friends. We understand. I keep telling my audit managers, don't give MIS in audit report. We are not an accountant or you are not an auditee. Please understand your role. You write only so what auditee expect from you, which they don't know. They don't want you to tell what they already know. So make sure that your point is unique, which really make add value to them. So that is why I see auditee also loosely make comment. Don't tell us what you already know, and please don't like a low hanging fruits, open PO, open PR. This much time taken from PI to PO. Don't write. These are the very low hanging, low risk audit areas. Importantly, may have some system gaps, but this is not what management looking at. They have their teams of dozens of people in the team. They can do it the same thing in 5 minutes time. Why do they hire us as the internal audit expert to look at us? They don't want you tell them open PO, open GRN, open PRs. Friends, they are not looking at. If really you want to do that exercise also. So example, open purchase orders. So please understand, open purchase orders say above more than 6 months. Who are these parties? You have to walk extra miles if you want to work still on such observation, low hanging. So please do make your hand dirty and put more efforts. Example, what I give when you say open purchase order, you just simply write, this is open purchase order. aging below 60 days, below 90 days, below 6 months, more than 1 year. Nobody is interested in such type of reports in current environment. Audit will kick off your report. You say, what nonsense you are writing? This I know. What are you going to tell me? So what you do, go and tell him, say in open PO cases. You go and tell him, so this is my total purchase order, say 100 crore. Out of say 50 crore is more than 6 months. Out of 50 crore, in particular set of material, I have not received say 20 crore. Out of the 20 crore, I see out of 15 crore of the material, 20 crore out of the 15 crore material we have not received from a same ABC and limited vendors. So that is how we are making value. You have to get into those deep dive into those observations where you find any challenges. Just don't do a just simply have your T code and get your open PO and do aging. A 5 minutes time you think you have done your report. Boss, this is not appreciated anymore. If you really want value, you if you really we want as an internal audit as a profession, we want respect. We have to give them a value added observation. So you tell boss there is 100 crore purchase order. I have review 100 crore with the total purchase order. 50 crore we have seen more than 6 months. Out of 20 crore, we found the XYZ material is being not received even after 6 months. And this is the vendor ABC who has not delivered. And these are the challenges and these are the reasons not done. Let this observation go with a very clear, detailed manner. I'm sure your auditee, your purchase head, your CEO, your CFO will appreciate a same observation, but with in a greater depth. So you have to touch the depth. You have to make sure you make your hands dirty and get into those details in a greater way. Next, what comments they give? The report makes it sound worse than it is. And sometimes we become so harsh without understanding there are some controls available. So you have to make sure that don't over empathy on your report and don't pretend your report shows it is worse than the situation what it is. So auditing makes such comment. Friends, I've seen my career of all these years, people hardly see. I understand we work on the exception report. But in my earlier company, when I was in wholesale Lafarge, Abuja, ACC, we used to write even some best practice we observe in that particular plant or branch. So we used to recognize that and we used to write that on the very second page of our report. So sometimes to have the positive aura with the auditee also. Sometimes some benchmark practice you find out of say 10 manufacturing plants in cement. I found one the plant what I'm reviewing, which done something with the best practice which others were not doing it. So I make that positive note in my report. So I think time has come now. You don't have to be negative. Although we only prepare an exception non-compliances, but at least couple of good points you found about that particular location. Please do take a mention, take a note in your audit report. I'm telling you, friends, that makes even auditee happy and they feel they have been considered. We are considered for them and we recognize their efforts in doing some of the best practice. So if you are not doing it, friends, let's start from today. The next one, the report does not give overall conclusion or opinion. Most of the companies I have seen, I will take you in a very greater detail how to do risk rating for an audit observation or risk rating for particular process or business or country level, unit level, manufacturing location level. So people don't give rating, so you don't know. If I'm doing say audit, see if I'm doing payroll audit at my fourth manufacturing location, and if I don't give rating, how do I go back to my CEO or my MD or audit committee and I will say that, boss, I have done my payroll audit at 4 locations. So you have to essentially give the rating to that payroll location of all manufacturing. Okay, this particular payroll in XYZ, say Dolby plant, I found good. Vijayanagar plant, I found there is a marginal report, a lot of issues in payroll. Say in Salem, I found it is satisfactory. So I have not found many. So at least you can adjust one set of bullet point. You may say, I have reviewed the payroll for the XY 6 months period, and I have seen these four location manufacturing. I had done the payroll audit, and one location now I found it is very good control. Second, I got a satisfactory. Third one is marginal, and fourth location which I found a lot of gaps in the payroll. So I give my rating as an internal auditor based on the severity of the risk observation. It is a weak report at that particular location. So unfortunately, most of us we don't give risk rating and give our opinion. I will take you through those criteria in greater detail, which I consider to be the best in the globally. Then next, internal auditor influence. Sometimes we influence the risk rating. I will take you through what are the minimum things a criteria has to be met before you give any risk rating. So friends, as you seen me keep saying कि we have audit stakeholders. So friends, the stakeholders what we deal in day out are this. The most important on the ground are process owners, HODs means marketing head, production head, account head, inventory head, right? Quality controller head, repair maintenance head. So HODs. Then the next stakeholders are CEOs, CFOs, CEOs, MD, Chief of Marketing, Chief of Manufacturing, Chief of Digital, Chief of IT, Chief of Finance, CEO, MD. They are our next set of stakeholders. And the most and the topmost stakeholder for we as the internal auditor to whom. So friends, globally we make functional reporting to the audit committee, and our administrative reporting always lies with the CFO and CEO. If you are reporting to CFO, if you are reporting to the finance controller, if you are reporting to the business, your manufacturing plant head, then independence is compromised. They will never allow you to then get into those areas and not allow you to have those important audition highlighted to the audit committee. So, friends, I'm repeating for the sake of clarity. Internal audit head should report functionally to audit committee and administratively to CEO or MD. Next, our stakeholder is tax auditor. I will take you through what are their expectation. And sometimes, friends like statutory auditors, although we are to be appointed under Section 138 of Companies Act 2013, based on the criteria given on capital, borrowing, and your turnovers, we are not statutorily liable to report to the statutory shareholders. Like statutory auditors report go to the shareholders and regulators like SEBI and everybody, exchanges. Our report doesn't go to regulator or investor. It has to be go as and when it is being asked from us. If something goes in a company, something goes wrong, regulator may ask where were the internal auditor, what they have covered into that particular area where the fraud has happened. Or we say we have an investor or PE investor, he will request us to assess those our reports. So friends, these are the all in all circle where these are our important stakeholders. So as I told you friends, what is the expectation? The broadly I categorize the expectation of our stakeholders into process owners, HODs, statutory auditors, and audit committee. Let's start with the process owner. What the process owner will look into? Process owner means a person who is your inventory manager, accounts manager, your repair maintenance officers, your quality control managers, somebody who is handling treasury, somebody who is handling finance, somebody who is handling fixed assets manager. These are the called process owners. So who owns those process on the floor? Your service manager. So what they expect from us? They want us to understand, is there any process gap, control deficiency, is there any process redundancy is there? Are we doing duplication of sub control? Are our cost of controls are more than benefit we are looking at? They want genuine observation which helps them to understand and freeze those gaps in their day-to-day working. And they at least want us to listen their point of view, practical suggestion, which have an cost-effective suggestion solution. What actually look into you? They want you to know, okay, you've done that XYZ plant. These are the 5 audit areas you've done this quarter. You let us know where do we stand, which are the most risky area you found, where are you found the high risk area, which are the low risk area, where you find comfortable, what was your overall assessment, what are the root causes, what are the recommendation you want to give. And friends, see, traditionally we are in, as an internal auditor, we are in cost control to the company. We are the we are the cost center for any company because we are into service, right? We don't manufacture, neither we market. Those are people on the front. We are a back end people. So we are a cost center to company. But nowadays, my experience in all these years, last around 5 to 10 years, company want you to become a profit center. So if you are putting into internal audit, say 10 crore in my company example, we give them more than 100 crores. We give them 10x, 20x. So we have to make sure that way forward, if you want to be relevant, if you want to be valued, you make sure that you are from cost center to you become in profit center. Now, what statutory audit expect from you? They want what coverage you have done because they base some of the things they bank on you, IFC testing. You have to give them a comfort. Any statutory non-compliance, CTO non-compliance, non-compliance on Factories Act, Bonus Act, consent to operate non-compliance, any major EHS non-compliances. So statutory auditor want you to give some comfort. Say they want you to, say in my case example, they want us to review the land review. So and then so they can bank on our report. Okay, we reviewed the land, their ownership agreement, whether it is in the name of the company or it is not under our physical possession or disputed. So statutory sometimes may want you to get into some of the areas where unfortunately they work, because we work round the clock 12 months in the company. Statutory auditors come quarterly limited review and yearly on a detailed review. So they rely a lot of on our work. So we may have to make sure that we give them all the support and comfort, because if they disqualify, it will be create a brand image and damage. So we have to make sure that any gaps in the control, non-compliance, important things which affect the financial reporting, we have to be work with them on hand. And the fourth and important stakeholder we discuss is the audit committee is our the topmost stakeholder for all we as intern auditors. Because whatever work, say exam, every quarter we do it. Ultimately, that 15 minutes when we go to audit committee. So we work so hard, our team works so hard, they go outstation, do a lot of audit, discussion, get into value addition, and finally it should go and stand in the audit committee. So that the entire quarter, the hard work which is given by our managers, our audit friends who are on the field, which taken a good note of that. They want, if any major key finding, any red flags we observe, they want us to give comfort on IFC testing, whether it is automated, not automated, any major non-compliance, ITGC control, any business process control, what are the comfort we used to give them. They are also looking at as a value addition, because internal auditor head is recruited by them. The charter, they review our charter, remuneration, responsibilities fixed by them. So they are our most important stakeholders. A different set of communication, friends. Just now we discussed this is a pictorial of the same thing. So now, once you draw the audit observation, how do your management response should be? Please make sure that management response should be smart. Whatever response come, first of all, I told you beginning of my presentation, make sure that audit observation be clear, focus. It should be not generic, few, some, more, few cases, don't write. If you very specific, your response has to be smart. What do you mean by smart? So your management response has to be very specific. What is action will be taken? It should be very measurable. What action will be taken and when it will be done with the time bound. Whether whatever management comment, just don't take it and accept way it is. Auditory, see, auditee is normally not really welcome person in the company. People look us as a policeman, or always look at as a fault founder. So you have to change that mindset in the eyes of the our audit process owner and make sure that you are there to help them. And please understand one basic thing: never criticize any person unless you are doing a forensic assignment where we assume something has been wrong done. Here the assumption is always there. We do audit ki there is some gaps in the system process. So we have to set that good. You have to bridge those gaps. So if you focus more on process system than on person, you will be you will be more welcome. Otherwise, internal auditors are unfortunately largely not really welcome people. So we have to change that mindset of our stakeholders by giving value added. Yes. Second, management response should contain the minimum following. It should specify reply the observation very clear, no general reply. Very specific, very smart reply we discuss. And you make those actionable verbs: review, we will implement, we will develop this, we will define this, we will get this approved, we will get it NFA, we will set up this. So see that actionable verbatism is coming in your report. And important is the time that they are going to take it. It should not happen if I give some very critical. I will come to those risk categories. Okay, I will do this after 3 months, I will do after 6 months, unless the observation really requires 2 or 3 or 6 months. So based on the risk severity, high, medium, and low, you make sure that high observation has to be attended urgently. If it is medium, it may take 15 days to 1 month or 2 months time. and observation is a low ranking, they may take a couple of few months. So you don't have to simply take what time frame audit it gives. Say I'm in doing a quarter one audit. If June, if somebody give me December date, I will not accept that date. Why December? Why do you take 6 months to implement this? Unless there is really required for. So you have to introspect as an internal auditor as well. Just don't blindly get into the time frame what is given by your auditee. You make your right assessment for the same. A person responsible. It's a you give observation, you give rating, management will give some response action. But if there is no defined person, then I'm sure the same observation will come in the next cycle and nothing will be done. So please make sure that the person who is responsible, department, who is responsible, HOD, who is responsible, name with the time frame has to be essentially a bare minimum thing should be there in a management response. Don't close the observation unless person responsible, department responsible, along with the HOD, and the timeline is given for your each observation. Please make this sure this is happening. Without that, your report is not actionable. Nothing is going to happen. You will only able to correct the situation. You will not able to correct the situation for future. So, friends, as I told you, internal audit report, as I told you, globally there is no standard format. Some people do Word format, audit presentation. Some people doing PowerPoint presentation, which is mostly used, a very popular method. And some people, at least for simple to use, is the Excel. Mostly people use it for annexures. So globally, these are the three set of report format: Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Uh, and most of the corporate and big fours and the large corporates are now doing the report writing and presentation in PowerPoint mode only. So friends, these are typically the important elements in the internal audit report. So what should be the minimum thing you see in the internal audit report? I will take through the important, your report should have a title of the page, a distribution list. So when I was in Allsame, it was not only the local list, even if the report used to go to CEO, MD, it used to go to the audit committee chairman also. It used to go to my regional director in Singapore. It used to go to my Switzerland, Holcim, my overall group audit head and vice chair of the company. So it all depends the maturity of your internal audit in your company, your understanding and the as per your internal audit charter and as per the scope agreed with the top management and the audit committee. Who are the your report distribution list? So who are the recipients here of distribution? This is very again important thing. You should be get it very clarified. Even you as a third party consultant doing audit, or if you are an in-house auditor or you are an outside auditor, please make sure that please get validated clearly on your report distribution list. Sometime you distribute to someone which is not authorized to do it. You should not supposed to, and it should be a wrong suggested to a wrong distribution. So please get validated from your audit committee, your top management who appointed you, who all should the report should go. In my case, we used to write even when audit started, when the opening meeting done, when fieldwork started, when fieldwork get closed, when closing meeting happened. We used to write very clearly. We used to write the org structure, the value game, volume game, what is the total say if I'm doing procurement, what is the org structure of procurement, whom do who out report, how many people, what is the budget, what was actual spend, overrun, underrun, if any major key changeover of the people, key person have left, some major spend category wise. So we get to learn whether we spend on gypsum purchase or we spend on iron ore purchase or spend on the coal purchase. What is the total to the volume, total to the volume size individually. So it gives a lot of flavor to the reader of the report. As I told you, you are not there with every auditee, every top management to explain your report physically one on one. So your report should have those minimum things. The reader of the report should know very clearly what minimum things they should read out of and understand this sanctity of the report, the kind of spend, the people, and the your importantly the report should have, as I told you, executive summary. See, your report may have 15 points. For all the readers, if MD of the report or CEO of the CEO, MD, also, audit committee chair don't have a time to read your 50, 60 page report, which has got 15, 20 observation. So please use executive summary. I will take you through a one-pager report. I will share this report format with you, whereby maybe couple of important executive summary has to be essentially prepared. So the people, see, operational people would like to know in a greater detail. They will even want from you the annexures, details, supporting. But when it goes to the level of CEO, MD, or audit committee, they want a very concise and very critical and severe, high rated audit points only. They don't have time to read. They want to read these three, four important pointers. So this will help them to know the assurance that we are giving to the management and to the board on those respective processes we audited, friend. And one most important thing, I'm repeating, the most important thing I've hardly seen in neither as a consultant, big fours, or a large firm, even in-house team. Very few people have that habit of writing audit limitation. Say example in my company, since payroll is a very sensitive area, so example, it is payroll is not given to us internal audit, and tomorrow something goes wrong in payroll, some ghost employees have been paid, or overpayment has been done to payroll, or wrong people has been paid, or excess short, or that there is a gap in the payment, more payment is going out than it is required, or more TDS goal. If I have not given access to that payroll data, I must write that fact very clearly in my internal audit report and say that this is my audit limitation. Please make disclaimer in your audit report if you are not doing. I'm telling you out of my 20-year experience, if I've seen 10 companies I have audited in my career, I've seen 8 people, 9 people don't write audit limitation. And tomorrow something goes wrong, a popular statement comes everywhere where the internal auditors. So friends, please make a habit as a good reporting practices. Please make sure that if there is any limitation to you do audit, make that I have not been given payroll, so I am not able, we are unable to comment on the controls and controls exercise on the payroll processing. Please make that fact boldly, italically. If you don't write, the reader of the report or recipient may not know. They will assume if you are doing payroll and HR audit, you must have seen the payroll of the employees. So, friends, before I go to the next slide, please see that you being as a good report writing manager, make sure that if there is major, if somebody says you don't go to this branch for marketing, don't do this plant audit, we don't want you to go and see this, don't do PV for XYZ coal car, don't do iron ore of coal PV. So please make that fact in your report. We have not visited for XYZ plant, and we are not in the mining audit for this iron or coal. We have been suggested, this has been done by the third party expert. So this is not part of my scope of review. So please do that audit limitation henceforth if you are not doing. And repeating, it is not being seen 8 out of 10 cases. So please bring that best practice in your report writing henceforth. So friends, opening introductory, I told we used to write the background of the company. The reader may not always know. So write background, write organization structure, the spend, budget, major line items. That will help to know the auditing, basic minimum strings before you start your actual audit report writing. Friends, this is the executive summary report. As I told you, the operating management, the payroll manager or accounts manager or inventory manager, production manager, marketing manager. See, they have enough time, and that is in their interest. They want to see each and every point. Say if you are 50 pages report in say production process or procurement audit you have done in P2P, procure to pay, or you done O2C, order to cash process your review, your report runs into 56 pages. Your operating management would like to see in detail, they actually want to review. But when it goes to the senior people like CEO, CFO, Chief Manufacturing, Chief Marketing, or if it is going to audit committee member, MD, CEO, they want to see only top 4 to 5 pointers only. So this is the format and my request to our ICI Institute, share entire presentation with to all our audiences. I am fine with that. Let the knowledge and these formats can be shared. My entire presentation can be shared with the all my audiences here today. So they should have handy, ready different set of what benchmark I'm talking or formats. I give a lot of formats on a various friends. I'm sure it comes out of my all this over years experience. I'm sure it will definitely get benefited out of this. Are the since I work for the world large MNCs companies like Holcim, Lafarge, SCC, Ambuja, and now 9-10 years in JSW, such a large corporates. So I have opportunity to work on this different set of very unique and very important, impactful formats may use by all of you. Please, you may you can take this from our institute. I'm sure I request the officials to share my presentation with the all my audiences here, so they'll get benefit out of this best formats. So, friends, this is essentially for the top people who don't have time to read your. So, say I normally issue. I have a 350 reports in a year. So every quarter I issue 80 to 90 reports. So you don't expect CEO or the CFO or the board has the time to see all 90 reports in the greater details. They want 5 to 6 bullet points out of all this. Audit committee, we go 5 to 7 points, right? At every each audit committee of each of the vertical. So executive, so these are the formats. There is the risk category. I will talk to you in a greater details. There are slides where I will discuss in a greater details. We will discuss about the observation rating, risk rating, control rating in a greater details. And these are the formats you may would like to format. This is another format, friends. You may would like to see that. It should not be more than one page. Please understand that. Because CEO, MD, chairman, if your reports are going to this set of people, they are not interested. You have 50, 80 pages report and 10 process they review. They want this top 5, 6 pointers in your each report. Okay, friends. So I will talk you through in a detailed risk rating. There are different ways of doing a risk rating, observation wise, a process wise, and there is a control rating as well, risk rating as well. And at business level, how risk categories are being defined. So this is what I was talking, friends. Any audit issues, see if that particular audit doesn't, every observation should have a business impact. I am very clear. I keep saying my team every time. Friends, I'm repeating, I keep saying my team every time. Don't prepare any audit report or audit issues unless that has gotten business impact. What kind of risk? If your observation is, if you're drafting an observation, it has to have at least one out of these 4 categories of risk. So any observation has to essentially sit into one of these 4 category, whether that observation has a strategic risk, whether the observation is operational risk, financial risk, or statutory compliance risk. It has to sit anything, any observation has to sit in one of these 4 categories of risk. And how to mitigate this for risk? It's a very simple way. So I have written it is 40. Remember just 40. Whether to treat those risks, whether to tolerate, whether to transfer those risks, and whether to terminate. A simple way of remembering risk mitigation strategy is 40s. So before it, this is one of the most important slide for report rating. Please take a note of this. This is one of the most important thing. If your observation, you should have that knowledge. Where do your observations sit into which category of risk and how to mitigate. Your role is not to only suggest the risk, right? What company is going to take you to help them to mitigate that by way of telling that whether you should treat it, you should tolerate those risks, you should transfer those risks, or you should terminate those risks. And this is number 1 slide for the entire presentation today I'm making to you. For any effective intern, impactful intern auditor who write the report should have art of knowing 5 C's of report writing. So what are these 5 C's? Your every observation should have these 5 minimum criterias, should be part of your every observation. I will take you through the format. I will take you through the some case studies. So first, let's on theoretically understand every observation should write. You should write about the standard. What is the criteria? Once you know what is the standard criteria or regulatory guidance, you should write what is condition. Basically, that is the exception. That is the audit observation. Exception we find out. Evidence what we observed. Then what is the root cause of happening that condition? Why that observation came? So you should know the root cause between your condition and the criteria. What makes that condition happen? Because of the control, because of the discipline, because of the resources, or because of other gaps or in the system. I am telling you, friends, and I have not seen 10 out of 8 companies don't write in the internal audit report the causes, root cause, they don't write it. Root cause is also most important thing. It should come in your every observation. Unless you know what is the root cause, you may able to correct the situation temporarily. But I am not thousand. I am 1001% sure that observation will again pop up in the next cycle. So please make sure that you, if you are not writing root cause in your observation format, please add henceforth. Please talk to your manager. Please talk to director, your partners, or your senior chief audit executive. Please make a habit to write cause also as a one of the important line item in every observation. The fourth is important because see, we have a limited company has a limited resource in terms of money, manpower, assets. So you have to category each observation has to be categorized the impact consequences of that observation: high, medium, low, critical, severe. And then fifth is important. Ultimately, see, we are not getting into the shoes of the management. We are not getting into the shoes of the auditee. So corrective action has to be agreed with the respective process owner, has to tell what is actual response. We discussed sometime before about action plan, right? Management action. So who is going to do it? What is going to be done? Who is going to do it? When it is going to be done? What are the timelines? So these five things, every audit observation should have five things. And for just on a lighter note, my name is Chetan Thakkar. So you remember C for Chetan, C for these five C's, and T for Thakkar, and T for this important risk mitigation strategies. So even you remember my name CT, who is a presenter today, I'm sure you will remember this for your lifetime. Five C's and four T's. That is CT. CT for Chetan Thakkar, and CT is for five C's and five T's of report rating minimum things. I hope in a lighter humor, you will able to remember my name, you will able to remember this. So friends, understand in a very simple way how this 5C is applied case study. Say criteria. What is the standard? The variation in the stock on the physical PV of the stock and the book balances should always have a nil, right? There should not be any variances. That is the standard. That is what we expect. There should be the added solution. Now, what is the condition? Why do you do audit? What do you observe? There are around 5,000 units, 5,000 stocks is short by what is shown in this. A book shows 50,000 quantity, and actual quantity you find 40,000. So that is what you will write in audit report. We found 5,000 units are short by what is there as per books. Now, what should be the cause? As I told you, cause is important. Why this has happened? Because in the night shift, somebody has issued this 5,000 material on the floor. So this is the cause. That is why there is a gap between condition and criteria. Criteria is that we don't need, there has, at any point of time, there should not be any difference in the PV, your physical verification in the books. However, you found the difference. Now you understand what is the root cause, what has gone wrong. So we understand because some of the materials are being issued in the night. What is the consequences? Since those 5,000 are physically short, your books is being overstated by that. Your book will continue to show 50,000 quantity. Physically, it is 45. Ideally, your book should show 45. The issue has to be shown. So the valuation shown in your books is overstated. And what is more risky, we as an internal auditor, then if your book stock doesn't show the right picture and somebody do a pilfer, a theft, and if they do some theft of your material, you will never know because your book stock is different, your PV stock is different. So you need a correction action. So what is to be done? There are two ways to address this. One way is to you keep a night shift stock keeper needs to be appointed. But do you think this is a good suggestion? See, unless there is a large company like us who could afford to pay for this, is fine. A mid-sized or small company may not afford to have a night shift stock keeper for only reconciling this. Because it should not happen. See, basic thumb rule in internal audit, one should always remember for all audit observation across the board, your cost of control should not exceed a benefit going to accrue out of that. So always make sure that don't suggest such controls. By putting on those controls, cost which is paid to have those controls should exceed the benefit you are looking at. So make sure that whatever control you are suggesting should be a reasonable one, and your the benefit what is going to accrue is going to be more than that. And what is ultimate method? Simple. The other method to correct this situation, before end of that morning shift and in the evening, you issue lump sum some material to the night shift in charge, and next morning you reconcile out of that what is issued, what is used, and the balance is existing book. So there is a minimum chances somebody will pilferage and play with the physical physical assets or inventory of those things. So friends, this how the 5 C's are so important, and these are the various formats. I will take you to the most important format. This is the format we used to use in wholesale. And to my experience of all this is the best. As I told you, friends, I will told a couple of times, globally and even in India, ICICI internal audit report format is not there. Every company, every firm, every internal department have their own report writing format. But this report writing format I am sharing with you, my friends, which I found to be one of the best global format in the world. I must have done more than 100 audits, large audits in my career. But I found this wholesale report is one of the best report format I ever seen in my set of career. So I'm presenting to you. You will see there is a criteria written, condition is written in the center. The cause is given. We discuss consequences. Rating has been given in the top, high, medium, low. Audit recommendation is given by auditee. Action plan has been given very smart. You will see the deadline, person responsible. So one observation, one page. If so one observation is going into 2 page, 3 page, I'm sure the auditee will get completely, management will get disconnected. If you written some observation on the first page and your recommendation and the risk is coming on the third page, he will lose the track. So my humble request to one and all, please be concise and make sure that every observation should fit into 1 page only, unless it is really required to be split into 2 pages. Don't make your single observation in only 1 page only. Don't spread your one observation to 2 or 3 pages, one observation into 3 pages. Don't do that. That's again not an good benchmark practice. It's not good reporting. And if you really want a rating of 5 for your report writing, please don't do that. This is the best report I'm sharing with you guys. Please do follow it. It has got cause, it has got criteria, it has got business impact, it has got risk rating, a person responsible, clear cut action, a clear cut criteria. So, friends, understand what are the common, after we understand the formats, let's understand the common mistake in internal audit report. Just I'm taking a pause to have a water quickly. So, friends, what are the common mistakes in internal audit? What I have seen all this time, the flow of the report. I've seen some people write low risk on the top, medium somewhere, and high on the in between or at the end. Please don't do that. Your audit report should have the critical and high issues on the top. Don't make it at the below after 5 6 points. So you should have that chronology, critical, high, medium, and low issues in your audit report. And the pattern, say if I'm doing HR audit, so as a process, my background check, reference check issues come on the top. It should not happen. I'll start writing my audit issues. The process normally training issues you are found in top, or payroll issues you found in the top, unless those are very high or critical. So please, and try to now days have changed. Internal audit has also changed its face from transaction audit to system audit, systems audit to now risk based audit to now it is a value addition. So the trend has been changed from transaction to system, transaction to process to system, system to risk, and now risk to value addition. So now management is looking forward from us a value addition in a real term. So make sure that your flow of report is correct. Don't important points get lost in the volume of pages. So if you have habit of writing 50 pages, 60 pages, 100 pages report, please don't do that. Let it be your report will be 2 or 3 pages or 4 pages. I am fine. Only I don't want to have a 20, 25 audit points. No. May it be 4 or 6 points for say even for a P2P also 6 to 8 points is fine. But draw only those audit points which really have a business impact. Otherwise, people will lost into volume of audit reports and they will not able to appreciate. And then our report writing will get rating of 1 or 2 only. It will not be a world class or a fantastic report format will not be there. So don't have a minimum audit issues. As I told you, thumb rule, every audit observation should have a material risk, or it should have a business impact, value addition, or it should have any major non-compliance. Then only you please start. Otherwise, you will waste your time on field. You will waste your audit manager time. You will waste your director time. You will waste your auditor time. You will waste the time of the top management and the board because of your non-understanding what points to be drawn in the audit committee. It will kill so much time, and we all know that how critical and important resource as a time for all of us because we work under a lot of pressure, a lot of processes, reviews, discussion, validation, a lot of time goes into that. So please be don't do 10 process, do 4 to 5 process, but do a deep dive and come with the very severe and important audit issues. Don't write incomplete information. As I told you, please quantify. Don't be generic, and please have a habit of writing your sample size, example scene. As I told you, don't use the word few places. Huh? Don't do that. Some cases we found in many cases. Don't use forever. Please delete those words from your report writing henceforth from your vocabulary. Never write some cases, many cases, few cases. Have seen generally. What is seen generally? No. What have you seen? Few cases, right? 10 out of 20, 20 out of 100, 100 out of 1000, 10% cases. Be very specific. Don't do drafting errors. And I told you earlier also, please don't use technical jargons. Please make your report with a very simple and don't confuse the reader of the report. Make it as simple as possible. So friends, this is again the one of the best report writing on individual how to rate individual observation. So friends, broadly we divide observation into 3 parts. Whether the observation is low, medium or low. When can you call your observation is low or medium? That doesn't require really prompt action. That doesn't really require that very quick, rapid or swift action, right? Now friends, what is important is when do you rate your observation as high? So I will give you total 12 criteria. Unless you fulfill all these 12 criteria, don't make your observation and inflate your rating as a high. Whatever observation you are making, whether it requires an urgent observation or whether is exposed to the significant unacceptable level of risk. So when you call your observation is high, friends, whether that observation is a pressing, is it burning, is that observation is critical, is it vital, is it a major observation, is it really that important, is that observation I'm rating as a high is really not worthy to the top management, to the board, to my stakeholders? Is it really considerable value is on the stack? Or whatever exposure I am taking on that observation, is it undesirable one? Is it intolerable? Is it objectionable observation or is it improper? So friends, please be mindful while you give rating to your individual audit observation. Make sure that at least when you rate something on high, it should test through all these 12 parameters. I'm parking this presentation with you once again. I'm telling you. So please take a note of this. If unless otherwise these 12 criteria are being met, please don't qualify your observation as high or critical. Hope I am clear on this. And friends, this is what we discussed. This is about individual report writing, every observation. And say if my if I am doing an say procurement audit and I have a 10 audit observation, out of 10 I have 6 are low, 2 are medium, and 2 are high. So if tomorrow I do audit for say my Vijayanagar plant and I go back to my CFO or CEO, then they will ask me, Chetan, you have done audit for Dolvi plant. Chetan, you have done audit for Salem plant. You have done the audit for Jasuguda plant. You have done for the Vijayanagar plant. So what is your assessment for how do you categorize? I have done procurement audit for this four plant location. I have done the P2P audit, procurement audit. So COP will ask me, Chetan, you have done audit of procurement at these four plants. How do you rate this procurement department? So I will say, because I found maximum observations in Vijayanagar and which is high set of observation based on criteria we discussed. So I will say there is a very weak process in procurement in Vijayanagar. I found satisfactory in my Dolvi plant procurement process. I found really it is very good systems I have seen in Jharsuguda. And I found few serious issues, say in Dolvi. So now I will able to gain confidence to my top management. I will tomorrow go to audit committee, the board. I will say, boss, I have done procurement audit at these four my larger plants in steel. I have done my six plants in cement. I have done seven plants in energy. I have done the procurement audit, and this is my overall risk ranking for this particular function I reviewed. So that will give so much comfort to the top management, and they should know, at least they will know where all they have to focus. Means they have to focus more to Vijayanagar procurement team, or they have to moderately focus on Dolvi, or they have to very seriously give reviews and understand, sit with the team and understand what has really gone wrong. Say some location at Jharsuguda example. So this will give a very objective criteria. You are not doing as per your whims and wishes. So these criteria are after so many years of practice, and these are the global criteria I'm telling you. You may have your own set of criteria agreed with your top management, your CEO, or maybe with your audit committee board members. Now this is the risk rating, overall risk rating based on report, overall rating on control basis. Whether controls are weak, whether controls are absent or it is partly inadequate, not adequate, whether you require recommendations, require urgent attention, prompt action, or not really something required. So this is again, so this is one set of criteria. This is another set of criteria based on control and recommendation done by we as an internal auditors. And this is, as I told you, friends, and I'm repeating once again, audit committee is our key stakeholder, the topmost stakeholders to whom internal audit head reports, the internal audit team reports, and second most is CEO and the MD of the company. So these two are the more important. What audit committee, as you know, see, you spend time with 1.5 months, 2 months with the audit process owner. But audit committee, how much time gives you? 15 minutes, 20 minutes, not more than that. So in the 20 minutes total work, I say I do 90 to 100 audits every quarter. In a year, I do 350 audits. So I have only 15, 20 minutes for each of my verticals. Say energy, I get 20 minutes, cement, port, steel business. So whatever audit process I do it for every quarter, I get 15, 20 minutes to present my case to the audit committee. So friends, say exam, what are the things they look at? What is their expectation presentation? Important audit issues. They want dashboard on the important risks, critical risks. They want to know what are critical findings, the emerging trends. They want to know the status of investigation, whistleblower complaint we received. They want to know, they want a comfort on IFC. Ultimately, they are also responsible along with the management on IFC. They are responsible to stakeholders, shareholders. So we give that comfort on the IFC or ICFR. We have to go back and tell them any resource limitation, some change in the plans, or you some new assignments came in. You want manpower support, resource support, budget support, and then finally you give department performances. A kind of non-compliances you have get it corrected, or a value addition you done, a major process revamp have done, you participate in some merger acquisition activity. So showcase your department, I will say, scorecard to the audit committee. So friends, this is the some of the best again the audit committee presentation, a very concise, clear, and with a very simplistic, colorful formats. You talk about the number of audits you completed, country wise, what rating you are given, even the rating of based on your say if I have I have a businesses in India, Singapore, Dubai, and US. Then I give risk in each of the country. I do say 15 to 20 audits, and based on the 20, I come out with the average index, and I will say the country India audits I have done it, I find it is unsatisfactory. The audits I have done in Africa, I find there is still improvement opportunity. So there are some marginal reports. And North America, whatever process I've seen it, my businesses is satisfactory. Europe, I am satisfactory. Middle East, Australia, I found overall satisfactory. So these are like I given the criteria why I'm saying which country require what kind of rating. Then the second slide I talked about the remedial action. So the top 10 issues what I highlighted in the last audit committee. How many of them are closed? 4 are closed. 3 are still open. One require global CFO intervention or the support of the your parent company sitting outside India. I'm just giving this is illustrative sample, but this is very impactful, very concise, a couple of pages which goes to audit committee. The significant audits the audit issue, which what is the issue, what is the risk rating, what action plan agreed. So basically, if you only observation goes, action plan doesn't come, it will not be really an effective observation. So observation has to be essentially agreed. You have to buy in from an auditee. You have to give risk rating for that important observation which you got to the notice all up to the chairman of the and to the independent director chairman of the audit committee. The risk category we discussed, there are 4 risk categories: financial, operational, compliance, and strategic. There are 3 types of risk: high, medium, low. Control, moderate control, limited control. Limited is severe one, moderate is partly acceptable. So this is the format, friends. You may even slice and dice on this dashboard. Use your own format. Get it agreed from your top team, your top management, and your audit committee. So, friends, this is the last slide, uh, and we'll see the what are the challenges what we have observing and how to overcome that. I have in the course of my presentation last 1.5 hours, I have taken you through. Let's recapture what are the challenges we observe and how to overcome that. Report issue that don't matter to the board and top executive. Friend, I told you don't report issue just sake of reporting unless it is really matter to your executive and board. So please have value added, a major non-compliance having a business impact, or somewhere it is really add value, a high cost saving or cost control issues, or major non-compliance, major EHS non-compliance, business factory non-compliance, or CTO non-compliance. Please see that whether it has an observation has a business impact, may affect the brand image of company, reputation risk. Please only have those issues bring to the notice of top executive and the board. Don't get them with all Tom, Harry, and Jerry, all issues. They are not interested. If you give them all low hanging fruits, low issues, you are not welcome. Then this is then in compliance only. You will never get an chair in the ESCO committee, executive committee, or you will audit committee will also just finish in 5 minutes time. So it is all up to us. We want to stretch audit committee for 30 minutes, 1 hour, or only 5 minutes. It is not only their time and commitment. It is onus is also on us as the inter audit fraternity to make sure that on bring very good issues on the basket of issues we give them. They appreciate and they cherish our observation. We as a business partner and advisor to them, right? A trusted advisor to the board and business partner to the top management. That is what a slogan to us, we as intern auditor. Failing to communicate what or when it matters. So please bold enough to say, even something is very serious. So what matter when it is matters. Please bold enough to write and communicate and speak up. Be bold enough to speak up, which is very important for we intern audit quality. Most important quality for us. You should have courage and candid to speak up. Speak up culture is most important one. Lengthy cycle times, nobody is interested. Flash report we discuss. It has to go timely. Stakeholder dissatisfaction needs to be noted, attended. Incorrect report factually not acceptable. Once you lose your if whatever, if you report goes with the top management in the board, and if factually is incorrect, it turned out to be wrong, it will be back put to us, and then it is very difficult to my experience say when is some observation on factually wrong. If management doesn't accept difference of opinion, they want time, months of resources, that's okay. That's a part and parcel of the internal audit as a profession. But never bring infactual things in the report. If it's come on backboard, it is very difficult to rectify that our reputation as an internal audit. Size of the report, maintain balance. I told you, don't make 50, 60 page report. Have a 5, 6 page report, but important, critical, and the high rated issues. Risk not being brought out clearly. I told you very, I shared with you very clear risk rating criteria from control perspective, risk perspective, recommendation perspective, very clear cut that 12 testing criteria while rating high also. Lack of practical recommendation. As I told you, don't give recommendation. Think always as if you are a part of audit and be part of and see that whatever recommendation and give is practicable, achievable, can be controlled, can be achieved with reasonable resources. So be practical in giving your recommendation. Don't give fantasy recommendation which is impossible to implement. Just it look very glossy on our report. Please don't do that. Be practical in your recommendation. The reader cannot connect with the report. So make sure that your entire cycle and you connect dot on dot in your report hereinafter. So friends, my closing, some of the closing importance slogan before I get close and we get into the question answer session. The single biggest problem in the communication is illusion that it has taken place. This is I have observed many times. Sometimes we email the report, we don't discuss. We say please send us the action plan. Don't do that. So it is important. Don't assume you are communicated and things have been taken care. No, you make sure that you will get you reciprocate and you get the things confirmed. So don't remain under that illusion. The second important thing. See, although we are a powerful role of an internal auditor, but never we are passionate, but always be you should have empathy. So what is important? If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to head. But if you talk to him in his language, that it goes to his heart. So please be empathy with your auditee. Never criticize them. Even anything wrong you observed or any major gaps, system gaps, process gaps, some cost control measures or some leakages you found, never attack an auditee or any process order. Please don't do that as a good internal auditor. Always, always stress on the process gaps, control, cost cutting, cost leakages. And please understand and make the auditee comfortable. See, unless you ultimately he is the one who is going to act upon an action, right? Are we going to take an action on behalf of auditee because our role is like a doctor? We diagnose, we review, we diagnose, we check, and then we suggest the medicine. And who is to get cured and who is to take medicine? It is our auditee. So, friends, please talk to in language he understand, he is comfortable. I'm not saying we are here to make friends for all auditee because oh बोलते हैं ना अगर घोड़ा घास से दोस्ती करेगा तो खाएगा क्या. So we don't have to make that friendly to so much friendly so that our independence get impaired. But be professional as well as be empathy. My only insisting on the word be empathiful. Please understand and take auditee buying a very in a very with a very positive aura. So he will able to act on the actions, and our success will happen. You have the best of the observation, you have best of the suggestion, you have best of the recommendation, you have the world best audit observation you do and done. But if you are not, those observations are not getting implemented, then it has no value. That will only remain on the paper. So we have to work on hand in hand with auditee to help them, to shape up, guide them, so that they will able to implement observation. So our success lies the best observation being ultimately get implemented by our auditee, and we have to support them. You don't have to get into implementation role. I am repeating, otherwise our independence will be questioned. But facilitate them to get those recommendations implemented. And the last slide for today. You never have a second chance to make the first impression. So friend, how important audit is your report writing? You will not get a chance. एक बार जो report में चला गया, it is like a visiting card. You have no chance to make rectify that. And people will start forming an opinion within a second. The moment somebody will read your opening paragraph, your executive summary, your top issues, you will understand the kind of depth you have understanding on the business, your knowledge of the processes, how you risk rating, the deep dive you have done in the business. Only first 2 pages of your report will tell everything about you, your manager, your audit field people, your director, your chief auditor. Everybody knowledge, skill, understanding of business, the depth of audit done, coverage is just seen in the first 2 pages according to my experience. I will able to frame the opinion of any report within a two, maximum 2-3 pages or 2-3 observations. How detailed the audit has been done, whether the person in the team who had done the audit, how sharp he or she is, how detailed deep dive audit is done, or it is just surface audit. So people will begin opinion within few seconds of review your report. And my dear my friends, a last advice from you, advice for me, it is difficult to reverse first opinion. So make your first opinion right, impressible, impactful. And friends, I'm sure whatever 80-90 minutes I spent with you, I've given a lot of practical tips on the formats, a minimum resetting criteria, what are the things to be careful, the basics, and these thumb rules. I'm sure with a lot of practical experiences. And importantly, you have to remember Chetan Thakkar, CT, C for 5Cs, and T for 4Ts of risk mitigation. So remember my name and remember those 5Cs and 4Ts of risk and reporting. So any question, answer, I'm happy to take.
Thank you, Chetan ji.
Ji,
I
I
must
hope,
acknowledge.
yeah. So over to you and you can take the question, Daya and Ritika. So I'm happy to take questions, if any.
Absolutely. While we wait for the questions to come in, but I must acknowledge that myself being an internal auditor for a while, and also now on the client side, I could almost understand to everything that you mentioned. And I think besides the technical proficiency which an auditor should have, the soft skills which you have highlighted, that he should
Absolutely.
connect with the client, he should understand the client, he should understand the processes, the working environment, which will also help him immensely in the entire internal audit. And I think two things which you very rightly mentioned was that internal audit is nothing but the third eyesight of the management, which highlights things which could have gone wrong and are generally being missed in the daily course of action.
Absolutely.
But sir, I think one thing which I would also like to highlight is that I think besides the entire process which the internal auditor carries out, and after issuing the report, and since the internal auditor is connected with the client on a very, very regular basis, if he also revisits his previously issued report and the action that the management has actually taken on that report, it will establish a very strong relationship between the auditor and the client.
That is what I said, Ritika, right? See, you may come out with the solid, critical, or high observation, but if those observations are not implemented by auditee, the
Yeah.
entire success will be on a toss. You
Exactly.
may have the best of the observation you suggested. If it is not get implemented, you have to buy out them, you have to get buying them, and make sure that you don't have to get implemented. Implementation is the primary responsibility of management. We are just an facilitator. Our job is to highlight the risk. We act as a doctor. I given that with that background. So we act as a we give this is the diagnosis, this is the medicine. Please take it. So we will get cured for once and all. And you don't have to correct the situation for the correct control, but to suggest him the preventive control as well. So it will not get repeated. So every observation has two parts: corrective action, corrective control, and preventive control. Don't leave any observation. So don't accept any action plan which has only corrective action. Okay, we found there is a delay in the. Say, I'm giving a small example. If PF is getting delayed for a couple of months, so say they say no, we will pay along with the delayed payment penalty. That is a corrective action. But what is the a system or process you will put in Okay, henceforth next time, so every fifth of the next month, we'll make sure that whether our PF liability has been properly calculated, whether it has been paid in time, we are ready with the fund, ready with the things. And so preventive control, if you want to irritate that, set that system into the process into the system so that those observations are not get repeated and the discipline come in day-to-day life. So this is, I think, basic thing I'm seeing my experiences. People always work on whatever say, you will say this is not done, this is that is not done, input is said not taken in GST. But then what is the future course of action preventing control? Okay, this will not get repeated next month. That is also very important. So every observation has two set, corrective action and preventing control. Make sure that this is being done for all important audit observation. I'm sure that so our success is not to have a more observation. It is equally important those observation come down and those become the inbuilt controls. Over to you, Ritika, please.
Absolutely. And I think a good internal audit report just does not highlight the issue, but it also inspires the corrective actions or good practices which the management has actually, taken in the due course. It helps the management also to realize that the team is doing a good job.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
So,
I don't know whether
I'll just check if we have few
G.
questions. Yes. So we have a couple of questions.
Yeah, you can take.
Uh, Hari Krishnan has mentioned that how can we apply risk rating for observations? Is there a specific standard to rely on, such as evaluating based on impact and likelihood, or are there other criteria we should consider?
Yeah, I think I have given, so Ritika, my request to you, what all participants who have joined today, you may share. I have very clearly written the criteria for high, medium, low, even
Exactly.
based on, values. It is all depend. As I told you, the risks are divided into four category. Any observation has to essentially sit into one of the category. Either that is strategical issue risk, operating risk, financial risk, or compliance risk. I have given criteria. Say compliance, I will give one example for his benefits. Say compliance risk, I found there is she are not compliant with the CTO. That is consent to operate. Basically water pollution, air pollution. That consent is given to operate the plant. And if somebody is a factory inspector, factory manager is liable for imprisonment of six under Factories Act. So that become a high. If some the fire extinguisher or those are not working, so you may say that is a medium. He may charge you some penalty or some few smaller delays or some normal, very nominal compliance not being done. He may charge you few thousands. So this become low. So you may come out with an criteria. If some imprisonment happened to your director, factory manager, then this is not acceptable. Then this become a high impact risk. I given you that other extinguisher medium. So you categorize it. This is, as I told you, even audit format and risk ranking is it is individually aggregable to your top management and with the audit committee. Even I am, as I told you, at global level, in India level, in audit formats and risk ratings are not given. It is your individual choice. You get it confirmed through your board, your audit committee, and with your top management, CEO or MD. I hope I'm able to address him. Although, but my what presentation I made it, I'm saying I have done at least 50, 60 large corporates companies. This is one of the best format I ever seen, which I have applied in OSIP, and I am happy to share with my participants today. I think this will help him all around.
Great. That is really great news. And so we have one more question from Mr. Narayanan, Bangalore. Say,
Ji.
he's asking you to elaborate a little more on different stakeholders and what each stakeholder is expecting from the internal audit work.
I'm very clearly, I think I have two, three slides very clearly on that. I told you, no,
To some technical issue.
Okay, so then I would like to extend the vote of thanks. Shall I, or should we wait for Chetanji to come back? So, firstly, thank you everybody for attending this session. I would like to express my deep gratitude to our chairman, CA Prakash Sharma, and our vice chairman, CA Preeti Salvaji from the Board of Internal Audit and Management Accounting for organizing this session. Uh, my fellow moderator, Ms. Daya Bansal, and our eminent speaker for sharing his knowledge. Finally, all the attendees for making this session a success. We hope to meet you soon in the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Yes, yes, sir.